Hey, lovelies, it's Peter here from Strong Healthy Women. Welcome to Talking Wellbeing TV, where we share hints, tips, and advice about the foundations of wellbeing. And so today we are talking about just how to go about getting started when you are ready to take that first step in getting your exercise routine happening. Now, there's a little bit of haze happening there. Sal, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep. Okay, so we're live, doll.
Awesome. Hello, ladies. I do apologise.
Okay. So,
Yes.
yes, so Sal's been stuck somewhere. So she's decided to jump on, but she has no visuals today. There's a little bit of quite a bit of background noise there, Sal. So we'll just see what we can do. Otherwise, yeah. Anyway, let's just get started. So I know for me personally, when I decided that I needed to start doing something, walking was the thing that I gravitated to. And I know that's the case for a lot of women. When I see and we ask the question, what is it that you enjoy doing? What's your exercise program? Mostly we do hear a lot about walking. Now, Sal, you're a bit of a walker too, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I get out and walking,
Yeah,
and walking
okay.
was one of my first go-tos when I started losing my weight.
Yeah, and so I thought today it was the topic that we would talk about. So um, I do believe that walking is a great form of movement and a great place to start. So if you are someone who's just gone, okay, yep, I'm ready to jump into it, and then we just start. We just get started with walking. So what we do is we pick a point to go to or pick a time. So you can either go a distance, or you could opt for going for let's say 20-minute, 30-minute walk. The thing about it is that I think for many of us, what happens is that we think that walking is something that we don't really have to think about too much, but it is something that we do really need to think about, because there are a lot of things that can happen. So, Sal, have you got any comments so far?
No, I was just thinking about walking. Like with your walking, you're saying a lot of things can happen, and I was just thinking about a walk that we did with our ladies, and I can remember you were walking behind one
Yep.
of our clients, and you were watching the way she was stepping her feet, and you
Yeah.
picked up on, I think she was pronating, I think, so her feet were rolling in, and you picked up on that, and a lot of us don't realize.
No, no, that's right. So we do think that we can just get out and walk. And look, I'm not saying don't get out and do it, but we really have to think
No.
about how we're walking, that's for sure. So, are we lifting ourselves in our body? So are we standing up tall? So many of the times that we've been out walking with our ladies, I see them starting to lean forward. So the core's not
Yes.
engaged. So that belly button isn't being pushed back to the spine. And so what could happen from that is that they can most certainly end up with a little bit of pain through the lower back, maybe as an example. Um, the other thing that can also happen is that they may not be actually engaging the glute muscles as well. So
Yes.
we're pushing off through our So when we push off through our heels, um, that goes straight through to our glutes, so our bottom muscles. But if we're leaning forward, we're pushing into the front of our foot, so which could not only give us that lower back issue, but it could also mean that we're pushing into our knees, and we could end up with sore knees as well too. So it is really important to think about all of those things when you first start out on a walking program. So the first area that I would start with is, with any exercise program, check in with your doctor and say, well, is this okay? Am I all right to start exercising? And then if I am, and I'm going to start walking, I think the next thing that you really need to look at is footwear. What are you going to be walking in?
Yes.
So for many of us, and we've seen this in workouts as well, ladies who tend to like those really lightweight shoes. And some of those lightweight shoes are fantastic, but if they don't have the support in them, they're certainly not going to help your feet long run, and they're not going to help your body long run as well too. So although they may be comfortable to start off with, they certainly aren't helping you from protecting your body. So equipment is really, really important, and in this instance, our feet are really important. Any commentary there, Sal, on feet?
Just going back to the shoes as well, like if you are a person who has been walking for quite a while or exercising for quite a while, check your shoes out well, because you maybe have had those shoes for 5 to 10 years, then you're pulling out your old, not your old athletic joggers, but you're pulling out your athletic joggers that you've used for so long. They may not be good for your feet now, so always on them. If you're working out 3 to 4 times a week, if you're walking, strength training, that type of thing, you should be changing your shoes every 6 to 12 months anyway. I know people.
Oh yes, yeah.
You go through a lot of your shoes, a lot of your gym shoes. So even if you out as well, ladies.
Yeah, you're just dropping in and out there, Sal. So the general gist was there. The wear and tear that you have on your shoes will denote how often you actually do need to change your shoes as well too. The thing is that your feet also change as well. So, our insteps start to get that lower. They're not as high as what they used to be when we were younger as well. So that can certainly have a bit of an impact as well too. So have you just arrived home, Sal?
Yeah, can you hear? It's really bad now, so I may drop out.
So, no, I could hear the wind chimes, so that's why I figured you were at home.
But it's really bad. That's okay. We'll see how
it's not coming through on this end. It's not coming through on this end. You were dropping out before when you were obviously getting out of your car, but you're not now. So, Anyway, let's continue with our walking. So the other thing that we really want to think about is, are we engaging all of our body as we're walking as well too? So, and that includes like pumping our arms so that we're using our upper body as well as our lower body. Is walking enough from a fitness perspective for the aging body? No, it's not. It's certainly what I would class as being the bonus exercise program. So it's one of those things that's it's really, really enjoyable. It's something that's simple and easy to get you started, but we do need to be very conscious that we need strength and flexibility training. We need those things because as we're aging, we're losing our flexibility, and that actually starts at puberty. the strength we're losing in our 30s, and it's moving from there. So that can certainly have an impact as well too. So can you add strength and flexibility training into a walk? You most certainly could do that. That would be an option for you. One of the things that you could start to do is, and I see ladies doing this, and I've actually been guilty of doing it myself, is to actually use weights when you're walking. Now, we do have to be very conscious of that, because we most certainly, with the weights, if we drop them, we could certainly hurt ourselves. So it's probably a better option, if you want to add some type of weight style training into a walking program, that you use a resistance band to do so. And so you can, pull on that resistance band as you're actually walking, and that's going to give you some level of strength. So we start off by walking. We want to measure ourselves. So with any exercise program, it's really, really important to know where you're starting. So if you find that you go out for 15 minutes and you're totally out of breath, and so the next day that you go out, what you want to do is continually monitor that. So see if the heart rate is starting to improve. So you're looking for those signs that you are continuing to challenge yourself, and that you are continuing to improve. So the other thing that we can do with walking is to include some type of hills as well too. Hang on a second, ladies. Hey, how you going?
I'm here, yay!
So it's been a bit of a crazy one today there. So,
Yes.
so I was just talking about adding in hills. So what hills will do is certainly challenge your heart rate and your lungs that little bit more, so that you're pushing yourself. So it's really important to measure where you're starting from, and then continue to measure yourself as you go along, so that you are continuing to improve.
Yes.
So one of the things that you may have missed there, Sel, was that I had mentioned that, is walking an exercise that's going to give you everything that you possibly need? The answer is no, it's not. And so we have briefly touched on strength and flexibility, and how we need to have some type of specific thing in our exercise routine. So we're wholly and solely today talking about walking from the perspective of, it is an ideal exercise program to start with. It's an ideal complementary exercise program to what else you do. It should not be your be-all and end-all of programs, because it doesn't do everything that your aging body is going through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree wholeheartedly.
So have you got any? Yeah. Okay. So have you got any input on any of that? That summary of what I was just talking about.
I want to take it to treadmills, for those ladies that are walking on treadmills. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I think sometimes, and you see it in the gyms where we like to hold on and just have our legs pumping. We might put it on an incline, but we still hold on. Let go of those bars, because those bars are not doing you your balance any good, or your flexibility any good.
Yeah.
I see people with the incline, and the incline's like this, and they're holding on, but they're leaning back. Now, if you take that to a hill, we don't walk up a hill like this, leaning back, So if
No,
you're on that treadmill,
no,
it should be
that's right.
simulating what you would be doing outside.
Yeah, totally. So if you're going up a hill, you lean in, well, you don't lean as in bend at the waist, but you lean to the movement, the incline of the hill, and same with coming down.
Yes.
So but with coming down's a very, very different story, because what you want to do is lean. That's when you do lean back into the hill. So you want to,
Yes.
so like, yeah, you're mimicking the hill with your body, because then when you're pushing back into the hill, you're then stabilizing your body. You're using that balance because you're actually coming through your heels. Because if you lean forward into the hill, the way the hill's moving down, then you're more likely going to fall forward and hurt yourself. So, and we don't want to do that yet. Yeah, exactly. No. Exactly. So yeah, no, that's a good point about a treadmill as well too. Look, the wonderful thing about a treadmill is that you can also set intervals on that.
Yes.
So you could start to include some type of, pattern where you might do 20 seconds on, as fast as you can, 10 seconds to recover, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds to recover. Now, you can use that same principle. It doesn't have to just be on the treadmill. You can most certainly do that outside in the great outdoors as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of scope, a lot of flexibility in starting a walking program. Now, you might be really unstable on your feet, and so your walking program might very much start inside your house as well too. So you might just be walking up and down your hallway, as an example. Now, I know for myself sometimes that what I will do is, if I've been sitting for too long, I will, walk up to one end of my house and then come back down and loop around, so we can actually do a loop in our house. So, and I will just do that a few times, just to get myself moving as well. And it's really, really handy to have something like that as a backup, particularly if you are walking in the great outdoors and you don't like the rain and you don't want to put a raincoat on. Then you can use the inside of your house as a means of still exercising as well too. There's also those walking groups that they have in the shopping centres, although I don't know with the COVID whether those things are still going or not. Yeah. But even if you were someone who is unstable on your feet, then that is certainly a good option. If the weather's not so good, so it might be too cold or it might be too hot, then yeah, you could certainly walk up and down your shopping centre, your local shopping centres. That's going to be quite helpful as well. Yeah.
Yes. You're back if the weather is good, but you're not that confident taking it out into the street as yet. Backyard's perfect. You can walk around your backyard. Yeah.
Yeah, just even around your house or even around your clothesline. I've read a story of a woman who's had amazing results, and that's exactly how she started, was just walking out to the clothesline and around the clothesline and back in again type thing. So, yeah, walking is an absolutely fantastic beginners type of program. You're aiming to get that 5 to 6.5 kilometers in an hour done. That's what your ideal target would want to be. But as I said, measure where you're starting. Just simply start. So if you're going out, you're going for 10 minutes, just see how long that takes you. And then what you do is you challenge yourself to maybe go, 12 minutes or 15 minutes the next day, and then see if you can keep that same pace up with that walk. The other thing is you want to put your body in it.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people who are quite stiff in their walking. There's no hip movement.
No.
So it all. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I often add in certain sections where I'll squeeze my butt cheeks together and get those glutes working.
Yeah. I know I'm guilty of that. The other thing that I will do is I will do like a tricep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether you see that or not. So yeah, I'll work triceps and I'll come around and do unders and overs as I'm walking up the street. Yeah, all those types of things. So yeah, you can certainly put your whole body into a walking program. And you most certainly can change it up and add more things to it. But as I said, for us personally, we think it's a great complementary type of program to what we need to do in regards to our normal exercise program that is designed for women as they're aging. So, and that would include doing strength workouts, that would include flexibility workouts, that would also include endurance workouts. So we need to have that variety. Oops, everything's happening today. We need to have
we've been having a great day today, ladies.
No, it has been. It's just this techo stuff now. So yeah, it certainly is. I've lost my train of thought there. So yeah, we want to make sure that we have that variety, because when we have that variety, then the body responds and we get more benefit from doing those types of different exercises as opposed to the same thing. The body becomes very, very used to it. So, and as an example of that, I started off with a 30-minute walk, which ended up going to an hour walk, which ended up going to a 2-hour walk. And quite frankly, who really has time for a 2-hour walk every day? I didn't back in those days. But so, and that's when I actually first discovered strength training, because I found that the walking just didn't cut it for me anymore. And so that's at that point, that's when I started resistance training, so weightlifting. So yeah, so have you got anything else you want to add into walking, Sal, as a program?
Listen to your body. So if you are starting your walking program, or you have been walking for a while, start connecting with your body, because I know when I started walking, I added intervals into it, because my body needed something. I could tell it needed something, because the walking just wasn't enough. So I added interval training in it. My interval training was, one street sign to the next street sign. It might have been 3 power poles that I was running about, running in between. But I was listening to my body. So then when I had my walking interval down, it was, okay, my body's telling me it needs something else. And this is when I then went to strength training. And I thought, I'm going to do group training. But I went, no, I don't want to do group training. I'm going to go into, because the gym that I was going to at the time had a women's part where the women would work out on the machines. I thought, I'm going to give these machines a try, and just went from there. So it was listening to my body all the time. This isn't just doing it now. I needed something a little bit more. So I think you need to connect with your body.
Yeah, totally. Jenny, thanks for the question. So Jenny's just asked a question. How about an older woman with osteoporosis in her hips and knees and has to avoid high intensity training? Do Pilates? I'm assuming that she means she's doing Pilates, but she does need to lose weight. So, okay, so the first thing I would say, Jenny, is that there is this thought that we need to do high intensity training to lose weight. That's not necessarily the case. She can't run, but maybe a fast walk. Yeah, okay. So, yep, she's just adding in a bit more information here. So the first thing that I would say about the fact that you have osteoporosis, like we have quite a number of ladies who have osteoporosis in the Strong Healthy Women community, in various parts of their body, and it's not uncommon that it is in your hips and knees as well too. So what we need to do is to get some strength training into your program, Jenny. So That's where you need to start. Now, with strength training, we don't necessarily have to go with heavy weights. We can certainly go with lighter weights, or you could most certainly use resistance bands. Now, the thing about your hips and knees, it would be really important, whoever you're going to be, if you're going to work with a trainer, just providing the information, x-rays, whatever else you have from your doctor, so that they have, whatever your doctor's recommendations are as far as training is concerned, so that they can specifically design a program that's going to help you do what you need to do. Sal, do you have anything while I just think about some other bits and pieces that I want to just give Jenny there?
Yeah, agree wholeheartedly with all the strength training. But absolutely, Jenny, you can add in that interval training to that walk. Remembering interval training isn't about, it is about going fast. You want that intensity in there. But that intensity could be a really slow walk to a fast-paced walk. What it's about is your heart not knowing what you're doing. So you could literally just be strolling down and then you're walking really fast. And then you're just strolling down and then walking fast. So it's not about power walking or running or anything like that. It's about having one little bit of time that is slow and steady, and then that next little bit of time putting that intensity into it, whatever that intensity is. So if you're just starting out, it might be just walking faster than what you're walking now.
Yeah, the other thing. Yeah, okay, so what I wanted to talk about particularly there was the high intensity as well too. So you have to avoid high intensity. I'm actually going to say to you that you actually can do high intensity. So high intensity is, sometimes we think that what that is, doing, jumping jacks and burpees and, all sorts of things like that. But high intensity for someone who is beginning most certainly can be, I'm going to put my hands in the air and I'm going to march really quickly. Okay, so, and of course then because we've got the knee and the back, the knee and the hip issues, we just have to watch those joints as well too. But then the other thing is that impact is really, really important with what you're doing as well too, because you do have osteoporosis. So we do need to have some impact. So if you're out walking, you need to be hitting it. So you got to, each footstep that you take needs to be very determined, so that you've got that little bit of shock that's going into your body through your bones as well too, to increase your bone strength. Now, when it comes to losing weight, Jenny, as well too, we're, as I said, sometimes we think it's just high intensity interval training that we need to do to lose weight. It's not the case. We need to have that variety. So we need high intensity interval training, which is endurance training. We also need to have that strength training, because the strength training is going to help us build muscle. Muscle starves out fat, basically. So, that's the first thing that I would say is strength training really needs to come into it. The other thing is it does come down to also what we eat, how we handle stress, the amount of sleep that we get, how much water we're drinking. So, losing weight is not just about exercise. It's about a more holistic approach to how you're living your life. And, here's an example. If you were to only sleep 5 hours a night for 5 nights in a row, then what that's going to do is that's probably going to put on about 800 grams over those 5 days. Because we're now putting stress on our body, and stress really sends our cortisol levels up, which therefore means that we start to hold on to the weight as well too, and we start to store fat. So that can certainly help as well too. Okay, so Jenny's just saying that she was using a reformer before lockdown. Yep, love a reformer. I've got to say, I'm a big fan of reformer training, but it wouldn't be the only thing. So, you know, for me, you know, reformer maybe once a week, and then, you know, adding in that variety as well too. So hopefully that helps you, Jenny. So if you're starting out, walking is great. As Sal said, you know, go fast for a bit, slow yourself down, fast for a bit. But because you have osteoporosis, you know, try and get some impact into it as well too. So that might be helpful.
Yes.
Okay, she's got a yes there. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Great question. Thanks for tuning in as well
Brilliant.
too.
And if you think
All
of
right,
anything
so
else, Jenny, just post in the comments and we will answer you.
yeah, that's right. Jenny, are you in our free group, Women Over 50, Get Active and Healthy? Because if you're not, head over there. This is great. Thank you. You're very welcome.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Sal, anything else on walking that you want to cover off?
Just what we spoke about today. You know, check your shoes, ladies. Are they comfortable?
Yeah.
Be conscious of the way you're walking. You know, add heels in, as Peter said. Just shake it up a bit. Shake up your daily walk. You know, I said last week, you know, if you always turn right, turn left tomorrow.
I had you in my ear this week. I was, I did some different things as well too. Yeah, it made me think about it a little bit more as well too. So yeah, the other thing that I would actually add is we've talked about footwear, how important that is because your feet are doing all the work. The other thing is clothing, because we often see ladies even trying to work out in like denim shorts and things like that. Ladies, we do need to have some wicker clothes that, you know, take the sweat away, allow our bodies to breathe so that it feels more comfortable as well too.
And you don't need, sorry, Peter, I was just going to add, you don't need, you know, like the expensive athletic wear. I was in Kmart the other day with my daughter and they've got some amazing things in there, you know, for really reasonable prices.
Yeah. Big W too. Big W has some great clothes. So yeah, there's lots of places where you can get some really, really good athletic wear that does the job. And you might be surprised what you can pick up around the place as well too.
Yes.
So just to summarize all of this today, what we need to do is, the first thing is, if we are about to start, walking is an ideal place to start. That's and you know, we've all probably started with walking, so that's the number one thing that you want to do. Use it though as your starting point, and then moving forward as your complementary exercise program. But continue to mix it up. Always make sure you know where you're starting from, and always continue to challenge yourself, time yourself, and, you know, clock yourself, see how far you're going so that you can continue to improve. Because the thing that happens is, as we get fitter, as we get stronger, it becomes more difficult for us to get our heart rates up. And of course, we want to get our heart rates up, because that's what's certainly going to, our heart is a muscle and we need to continue to improve that as well too. So we want to put it under pressure so that we can continue to improve it. Of course, if you've had any heart conditions or anything like that, you need to follow the guidelines of your medical practitioner as well too.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, Sal. Well, thanks for joining us in all forms today. Visually.
I was just a big surprise today. How is she coming to us today?
Yeah. So, I'll just leave
Was that a phone
yeah.
ringing?
Okay, so yeah, I think that was the phone ring. Number one rule: turn the phone off when we're getting on when we're getting on a call. Okay, so ladies, thank you so much for your patience with us today. We've had a few disruptions here and there, but I'm sure that you will find that there is lots of great information there, enough to get you started as well too. And if you haven't already done so, download our free guide, which is the Beginner's Quick Start Exercise Guide, and the link is there so that you can do so. And if you're not in our free group, please go ahead and jump over there. It's Women Over 50 Get Active and Healthy, because we have a super awesome November coming up for you as well too. And one of the things you can take advantage of in this guide is you can come and do 2 weeks for free with us and check it all out. And we had the lovely Michelle come in and work out with us today, didn't we?
Yes, she loved it.
She loved it, which is great.
She did. Yes.
All right, so thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me in all forms and with all things happening. Have a wonderful weekend, ladies. I will see you on Sunday, Peter.
Oh, yes, you will. Thanks for joining us, Jenny, and thanks for your question. Really, really appreciate it. We love good questions. And thanks, ladies. There were quite a few of you who tuned in today. So whoever you are, thank you very much for joining in. And we shall see you all on Sunday for the weekly wrap-up as well, too.
Yes.
So take care, everybody. See you all soon. See yourself.
Have a great weekend. Bye, Peter.
Bye. Bye.